Good evening and welcome to the Best of Groucho. These are shows you said you'd like to see again, all taken from You Bet Your Life. I think you're going to especially like this one tonight. Here he is, Groucho Marx, in You Bet Your Life. Presented by DeSoto and the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
Wonder whatever became of him. Oh, that's me. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples, and if any of them say the secret word, the duck will fly down and pay him $100. The word tonight is money. Okay, Duck.
Well, Groucho, just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a college girl, Miss Julie Martinez. Her partner is Mr. Taylor Williams. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Taylor Williams and Julie Martinez, eh? Julie, how old are you, Julie?
18 years old.
18 years old. And where is your home?
Guatemala City, Guatemala. I'm going to school. I'm going to Los Angeles.
Going to school?
Yes.
Really? What school?
Los Angeles City College.
You live in Guatemala and you go to school in Los Angeles? Aren't you a little rushed when you go home for lunch? So what did you come here for?
I want to become a doctor.
A doctor?
Yes, empty.
Empty doctor? What's an empty doctor? That's one that doesn't drink, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you don't have to go to college to learn that. I'm willing to give you a little of my spare time.
Good.
I could give you, say, 7 evenings a week. And you're Taylor Williams, huh?
Yes, sir.
You're a fine-looking man. How old are you, Taylor?
I'm 67.
67? Oh, sort of old Taylor, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Taylor sounds pretty formal. I'm sure you haven't gone through life being called Taylor. What do your friends call you?
Oh, they call me Bear Track.
Bear Tracks. Well, that's more like it. That's a real normal name, Bear Tracks. Well, what sort of work do you do, Taylor?
I'm head guide at Sun Valley.
You're a head guide?
Yes.
Well, what is that, a psychoanalyst?
Well, I guide fishermen and hunters. I've had the pleasure of fishing with and then hunting with some of the celebrities, such as Ernest Hemingway and Gary Cooper. And I had the pleasure one time of coaching our former President Truman in fishing.
Who?
Truman.
Truman? You don't mean old Harry, eh?
Old Harry.
Well, let's talk about fishing. I know there's more money spent on hunting and fishing than on any other sport, so there must be something to it.
Yeah, there is something.
What do you have to know to be a good fisherman?
Well, you have to think like a fish.
Bear Tracks? What's that?
You have to think like a fish.
You mean you have to be a chowderhead?
Well, not exactly that, but you have to know as much as the fish does, so you can analyze exactly what he's trying to do on the day you're out there to fish for him.
I see. Well, I can't think like a fish. I can drink like a fish. I know the first thing I'd do if I were a fish, I'd quit eating worms. The next thing I'd do, I'd find out where Esther Williams was going to make our next underwater picture. And oh boy, would I be a busy little octopus.
I'm right along with you on that worm deal. I don't fish for worms. I'm a fly fisher.
Well, what do you, supposing you took me out on a fishing trip, could you guarantee that we would catch any fish?
Oh, sir, that's the first sign of a tenderfoot when he asked me that question.
Amateur, huh?
Yeah, an amateur. Absolutely.
Oh, that's me,
yeah.
yeah.
Because the only way I can guarantee you any fish is to stop at the store on our way down there and buy some.
Well, that's a pretty stinky answer. Well, Julie, let's get back to Guatemala, huh? Now, where is it exactly? How far south of ex-Mayor O'Dwyer?
Guatemala is in Central America. It's south of Mexico and north of Honduras and El Salvador.
It's near the Panama Canal?
Yes, north of it.
Oh. Well, now that you've had a chance to get acquainted with American boys, how do they compare with the Guatemalan products?
That's a hard question, but I'll be truthful with you, and I'll say that I think American boys are much simpler. They don't talk so much.
Simpler?
Yes.
You mean more gullible?
No, I mean, they don't give you that much attention. The boys back in Guatemala, they are more attentive. they use flowery speech.
Uh-huh. Like what?
Well, like if you are walking through the park, they will say, "Hi, chatia linda."
What does that mean?
Oh,
Let's stop and sit on a bench?
no, that means hi, pretty little nose. I mean, in English doesn't make sense, but in Spanish it does.
Hi, pretty little nose?
Yes.
Can you imagine going up to an American girl and saying, hi, pretty little nose? She'd have hit you over the head with a bomber chute. Huh? Well, when you go back to Guatemala, are you going to marry one of your boyfriends down there?
No,
No?
I want to marry an American boy.
Oh, well, that's very nice. You mean you prefer action to pretty speeches, is that it? What do you attribute this sudden change of heart to,
Well, back
Almena?
in Guatemala, the boys are real romantic.
Well?
But once you get married, romance is gone, and the boy wants to be the boss. But I have noticed here that after you get married, the girl still can be the boss, and I rather like that.
In other words, you don't care what country you're in, you just want to be the boss. Well, Julie, how do you like living in Los Angeles? Do you like it better than Guatemala?
Well, I like Los Angeles, and I've been here for a year, and I think it's a real nice place, but California and Los Angeles is supposed to be a sunny place, and all this year, I can see the sky is mighty gray.
I wish you wouldn't talk about the weather like that, because we spend millions of dollars each year lying about our climate. And you could quit this whole thing with that one statement. Well, you're a nice couple, and I'm sure you're going to be very happy together. Now, you selected a botanical quiz, is that right? You ought to be pretty good at this, Taylor. Huh? And remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. All right, now what are you going to start with?
What do you say? Would you...
$50.
50? Okay.
How do you like Julie?
Very attractive.
Isn't she?
Yeah.
You like her?
Yeah.
You're married, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Tell Julie how many children you have, huh?
I have 3 children, Julie.
So back to Taylor, Julie, huh? All right, you're going to start with $50. What plants do silkworms feed on? If you don't know, guess.
Yeah,
What plant do silkworms feed on?
Oh, the plant, they grow on the leaves, they grow on the tree, a little,
Well, it's a mulberry.
mulberry, yeah.
It was named after a street in downtown New York.
You now have $50.
$50. Now, don't get discouraged. What are you going to go for now? The little sums are easy. The hard sums are tough.
I ought to have guessed that one. That I know. I've known it all my life, but that one.
Well, Taylor, mumbling will get you nowhere.
Okay. Well, we'll try, what do we say? We'll try about
20.
20. Okay.
Hmm?
20.
20. What do you call the fruits of the oak tree?
The oak tree?
Oak tree.
Acorn.
Right.
Acorn is right.
You now have $70.
All right. What are you going to go for? Big ones are hard. Little ones are easy.
Yeah, well, we'll go for, what, 30 this time?
30.
Okay.
$30.
What is the name of the parasitic plant that grows on oaks and other trees?
Mistletoe.
Mistletoe is right.
You're now back to $100.
Now, what are you going to go for?
Let's see.
Where we go?
40.
Huh? 40.
40.
40. What is Bermuda grass commonly known as? Talk it over.
Nothing.
Pampas grass.
Pampas grass, he says.
No, it isn't.
No. It's that old devil grass.
You wind up with $50.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't win more, but thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Thank you.
Doctor, we have a couple of ladies for you now. Mrs. Carolyn Bauer and Mrs. Florence Atkins. Ladies, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Caroline Bauer and Mrs. Florence Atkins. And which is which?
I'm Florence Atkins, Groucho.
Oh. Is it okay if I call you Florence, Florence?
Oh, it's quite all right. All my friends call me Flo, Groucho.
Flo, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Like Flo on Sweet Afton?
Something like that. It's very
Well-
easy to say.
Let's skip all this unimportant trivia and start right off with the big question. Are you ready? What is your age?
Oh, that was sneaky. I'm 45.
Well, I am sneaky. You are fortified with what, huh?
Vitamins.
Well, you're a very young-looking 45. I thought you were
Thank
about 32. Do you have any particular recipe for looking so young, Florence?
Well, I try to keep a happy thought, a good mental hygiene, and to remember that however dark the day is, tomorrow's going to be very nice and bright, always.
You haven't lived here very long, have you?
Well, it's always bright.
Yeah. Well, I wish I was.
Sometimes.
Now, do you always think happy thoughts?
Oh, not always, but I can't keep the birds from flying over my head, but I can sure keep them from roosting in my hair, Groucho.
Well, it's true, I guess. Now, well, let's see. You're Caroline Bauer. huh?
Yes.
Where are you from, Carrie?
I'm born in Turin, Italy.
You were born in Italy. I assume you're Italian. Is that a fairly face
Not
assumption?
exactly. I am half Italian and French.
Oh, I see. Well, that's a nice combination. Half French, half Italian. You ought to have a lot of happy thoughts. Do the birds ever roost in your hair? I know a fellow's half Scotch and half soda, and he's happy all the time. Caroline, to save time and to give me a chance to light my cigar, I'll ask you the next 3 questions all at once. When did you leave Torino? How did you meet your husband, and how old are you?
Well, I lived Torino, was a very little girl. I traveled all over. I was on the stage. And I met my husband 3 times, last time in Buenos Aires. And when I was at Teatro Colón, I was ballerina. And I am 4 feet and 11 inches tall.
Well, that's a nice age. Now, do you ever miss your life as a ballet dancer, Carolyn? Did you ever stand in front of the mirror and try out a few renditions now and then?
Yes, I do.
You do?
I like it. Sometimes I go in the mirror, I make some rendition or some arabesque, and I hang myself on the clothesline, you know, that...
I did that after the crash in 29. The way the market is going now, I may do it again in a few weeks. Well, you make a charming pair of contestants. Now we're going to play this quiz game. You realize that you're partners, and you have to have one answer between you on everything.
Yes.
Is that clear?
In the race for the $1,000, the first couple won $50, and the secret word is money.
This is general information, and you selected the general information quiz. What are you going to try? The big
We'll try
sums?
70, Groucho.
70, all right. Well, that's a nice compromise. What unit is commonly used in the weighing of diamonds?
Carrot.
That's right. Now, and from now on,
Pardon
you
me.
consulted with your partner, because she might have said onion.
You now have $170.
What are you going to go for this time?
We'll try 80.
80. If you had a gross of pencils, how many pencils would you have?
12 dozen.
Yeah, how many?
12 dozen.
Oh, well, that's all right. It's 144 or 12 dozen. We'll give you that.
Now have $250.
Now, what are you going to go for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How much? Come on, kids.
50.
50.
50. What do you call the 2 metal supports that hold the wood in an open fireplace?
Metal supports that hold the open wood. Those are the andirons.
That's right, andirons. All right, andirons. We'll give you that.
You now have $300.
Now, here's your last chance to beat the other couples. What are you going to go for?
We'll take try a 60.
60. What do you call the right side of a ship?
Port side.
No, I'm sorry. Well, it's starboard.
And you wind up with half of $300 or $150.
Well, thanks and good luck to the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Groucho, we have some special guests for you now. The first is Almena Lomex, who has an interesting career, and her partner really needs no introduction other than to say he's the one, the only, Joe Louis.
Joe Louis. Well, Well, welcome, folks. With the DeSoto Plymouth dealer, say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Joe, it's an honor to have you here.
Well, thank you, Groucho.
And don't anybody accidentally ring a bell around here. Joe, do you mind if I talk to your partner for a moment? I'm saving you for the main event.
Okay, Groucho.
Okay? You're Almena Lomex?
Yes.
Oh, is that the correct pronunciation?
Yes, Lomex.
Lomex, huh? We're very particular around here. They used to call me Dumox in school. Almena is a rather unusual name. Is that a family name?
No, it's Spanish. Almena means battle.
Battle, huh?
Uh-huh.
I take it you're married then,
Yes.
huh? You have children?
With a vengeance, 5.
5 with a vengeance, huh? Almena, Fenneman says you have an interesting career. Is this in addition to having 5 children?
Yes, I edit a newspaper, the Los Angeles Tribune.
Oh, really? How'd you get such a responsible job as editor of a paper?
Well, it sounds like a gag, but my husband's the publisher.
Well, that's a surefire way to get ahead in the newspaper business. Just marry the publisher and have 5 children. Are they all subscribers?
Well, they can't all read yet, but...
Well, that doesn't stop many people from subscribing to a newspaper. I think if all people could read, many of the newspapers would go out of business. Could you tell us something about your paper, Almena? What is it like?
Well, it's a weekly, community weekly.
How do you get time for your newspaper work if you run a house and raise 5 kids?
Well, it's probably a very poorly run house, and also I don't sleep very much. I do the heavy stuff at night and write news stories and change diapers in the daytime.
Well, you have a lot of energy. I just tie my shoelaces in the morning and I'm ready for bed again. One time I felt real strong and I pushed the toaster down. You know, I was in a sanitarium for 2 weeks. Well, Joe is an old fight fan. I'm familiar with your record. I go all the way back to John L. Sullivan.
You can, huh?
But just for the record, let's find out some facts about your career. How long were you the world's heavyweight champion?
Groucho was champion for 11 years.
And in that time, how many title bouts did you have?
25.
25, huh? Has any other world champion ever been that willing to endanger his crown?
No, Groucho, I defended my champion more time than the other champion.
Why? Weren't you afraid of anybody?
Well, no, I think more fighters around then.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't they always say that?
Well, not always. Sometimes, like Marcena, he don't have nobody around.
He doesn't have anybody around when he's in the ring, I must say. What's the toughest fight you ever had, Joe?
Well, the first fight with Billy Conn. That's the fight that he almost had me beat up until the 13th round.
Then he got gay, huh?
That's what he did.
And you tagged him?
That's right.
Were you worried in that fight?
Well, I was worried. Yeah, I was a little worried. In fact, I'm a little worried in all my fights.
I saw you fight Ramage down here when you were real young, and it was really like a farmer in the ring with an axe going after a chicken.
That lasted 2 rounds, though.
Yeah, and I bet on him, too. Huh? You know that Ramage was almost as scared as I was? How about the first fight with Schmeling?
Well, I don't remember too much about that first fight. In fact, I tore that out of my scrapbook.
Oh. What happened?
Well, after the second round, I don't remember what happened in the whole fight. After the first round, he knocked me down.
You mean you were on Queer Street all through that fight?
For the last 10th round.
This is strange, just fight by instinct.
That's
is
right.
That it, huh? Well, how early in life did you start slaughtering people with Joe?
Well, there were 8 kids in our family, you know, so then you got to start fighting when you're 8 months old.
What were you fighting for at the age of 8 months? A fresh diaper?
Well, to get to the head of the table, get closer to them.
Did you have brothers older than you?
Yes, I'm the youngest boy.
You ever slug your old man?
No, I think he had the best right hand in the game.
Well, what are you doing now, Joe, that you retired from the ring? You just living on your income?
Well, Groucho,
I understand you're loaded.
I said too loud. The government man may be listening. You know, I'm in the milk business in Chicago. The
milk business?
That's right, Joe Louis Milk Company in Chicago.
Is that so? Joe Louis Milk Company.
Mm-hmm.
What else are you doing, Joe?
Well, I'm interested in a hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a big hotel, a 200-room hotel, casino.
What's the name of this hotel?
The Moulin Rouge.
Oh.
Here's an interracial hotel, the only one in Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
We have fine shows there. One of the finest, I think, in Nevada, in Vegas. We have the top acts.
Mm-hmm. And what is your job there?
Well, I'm the fisher greeter. I meet people.
You mean you're the bouncer?
No, I'm the greeter.
Oh.
I shake their hands, and if they have a big winner, I escort them to their car.
And take the money away?
No, I see that they keep it.
Oh, you're going to stand at the door and greet people?
That's right.
You shake hands with them?
That's right.
Well, your hotel is certainly different than any other, Joe. If you shake hands with all the guests, you'll have the only hotel in Vegas where the dice shooters will all be left-handed. Well, it's been a very pleasant experience talking to you two, and Joe, I'm glad I only have to meet you socially. Now it's time to play You Bet Your Life. You both understand how to play the game, eh?
That's right.
In the race for the $1,000, the second couple is leading with $150.
Now, you selected sports, and this ought to be pretty easy for you.
Middle of the road, huh? Okay.
We go start with 50.
50, all right. Generally speaking, if the 100-yard dash is a track event, what kind of an event is the shot put?
It's a field event. Shot put is a field event.
Yeah, field.
She's got it right. It's a field event. That's right, huh?
Well, you're off to a good start. You have $150 now.
Imagine a mother of 5 children telling a heavyweight champ what's a field event.
Well, so let's try 60.
60. What sport do the Detroit Red Wings play?
Hockey.
Hockey is right. Hockey is right.
You now have $210.
Even if he gets it wrong, I'm going to give it on. Now, what do you go for?
I don't think I need to go back.
40?
40.
We tried the 40.
40. Ellsworth Vines is recognized as one of the better professional golfers. Before he took up golf, he was a champion in another sport. What was it?
Tennis.
Tennis is right. You don't even ask yet.
And you've now climbed to $250.
She's on to Lewis. She pays no attention to him at all. Just comes out with the answer. Here's your last chance to be the other couple.
See, we should have said 100.
Now, one answer between you now.
70.
70? What do you call the camouflage hiding place used by duck hunters on lake shores and in marshes?
You call them duck blind.
That is right. A duck blind is right.
And you wind up with $320, and that means that in just 1 minute, you too will get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question.
Thanks and good luck to the DeSoto Plymouth deal.
There comes the winning couple, Groucho, Mrs. Lomax and Joe Louis, all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question. Right back here.
All right, here we go for $1,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully, and please no help from the audience. The ancient name for the strategic strait between European and Asiatic Turkey was the Hellespont. For $1,000, what is it called today? You don't know, guess.
I don't know. It wouldn't make any difference. Can you repeat it?
The ancient name for the strategic strait between European and Asiatic Turkey was the Hellespont. For $1,000, what is this called today?
Go on.
Well, it's named after a famous song, the Dardanelles. That's a tough one, especially for a guy who's been fighting all his life. So that means the big question next week will be worth $1,500. Well, they lost the big money. How much they win the quiz?
$220 in the quiz.
Congratulations to both of you, and thanks to you, and to all of our... 320, isn't it?
Yes, 300. I beg your pardon. For goodness sakes, yes.
Thanks to both of you and all of our contestants on the show tonight.